I've been seeing a lot of things about Gypsy copying this girl named Kate. Well, her story's always been that in the notes the doctors left, that the mother possibly has Munchausen by proxy. The doctor said that he left that note on one of the documentaries. So I'm not sure where people are getting at that she's lying about it or copying somebody else's story. Like, the actual doctor that did it said that he did it. So her story has always been the same. So I just don't know why people are saying that she's lying. It's really weird. The Waffle House thing, it's common that people record arguments and fights in public. There's nothing wrong with doing it in public. That is completely different than filming a conversation in private that other people don't know about. If it's public, it's public. You can do what you want. But you gotta think, she didn't get to live life the way a normal person her age lives. So she is acting the way that she would have acted in those teenage years, given she had a normal childhood. She's acting like a teenager. And I think that people are way too hard on her. She did her time. She's clearly remorseful, whether you people want to see it or not. She is. She's taken accountability. She said that what she did is wrong and she should have done something differently. Also, you people clearly have never been in a manipulative relationship because you feel trapped. You feel like, as far as like her not telling anyone, when you're with somebody that's manipulating you, you are scared to tell on them, I guess, in fear of what they're going to do next. So if you've never been in a manipulative situation, then you really have no room to talk on something like that because you just can't understand. As far as her marriage, well, honestly, she shouldn't have gotten married until after she got out and, met somebody in the real world and knew how life was going to be. So it's no shocker that she's getting a divorce this soon, because she just shouldn't have gotten married. She's never lived with anybody else other than her mother. So also, I don't think we should judge her for that either, because it makes sense. Also, as far as Ken, if you watch the Life After Lockup show, it shows that Christy has been in contact with Ken the whole time. And she kind of is to blame for sending Gypsy his way. So if anybody's manipulative, you can call her manipulative. But Gypsy does seem very genuinely happy with Ken, and I think that she deserves that. She felt more free in prison than she did at home with her mother. That says a lot. Oh, another thing with the Waffle House thing. There's this person I watch on YouTube that does Gypsy Rose content however often, and in the comments people were talking about how Gypsy's lying about being triggered by yelling or whatever, like she's in the video laughing about it. Okay, you don't know how anybody else reacts or what other people's triggers are except for your own. Everyone reacts differently to different things. I, for one, am triggered by yelling, but only if somebody's yelling directly at me because I'm afraid of being hit or something. Two people randomly yelling and arguing in public does not trigger me. I'm not afraid that they're going to do something to me. So that's irrelevant to say that. To me, it seems like at this point people are just looking for literally any reason they can to hate on her. And I just think people need to just cut her a little bit more slack. Like, she is kind of living how any other teenager would live, but unfortunately for her, it's on social media, or maybe that's her fault, whatever. But do we even know if Lifetime reached out to her or if she reached out to them for the show? Because they could have reached out to her, and then in that case, it's definitely not her fault. Excuse me. Even so, there's no way that she could have known how popular her story was going to be. Like, Nobody expects to just get 8 million followers on TikTok literally overnight. So there's no way that she could have known that. Her story still deserves to be told, because it's an interesting story that most people haven't heard of. I certainly have never heard of Munchausen by Proxy until I watched The Act on Hulu, and that was the first time I've ever heard about it. So it is an interesting story that deserves to be told. As far as advocacy work, yeah, maybe that's initially what she wanted to do, but people can change their minds. Just because you were in a situation doesn't mean you have to advocate for it. Like, I was in an abusive relationship. I'm not advocating for it, so that's weird that people are also hating on her for that. Like, you don't have to do that. This Nina girl that keeps now posting videos about her, Gypsy even texted her and said that she regrets what happened to Nick and all this stuff, but nobody's talking about that. Like, she's showing remorse. I think that she deserves to live her life. She did her time. That's what they gave her. Whether it was a plea deal or not, that's, if they thought that she needed more time for what she did, then they would have put that in the plea deal. So you can't be mad at her for what the judge, it's actually like I'm in Virginia as a Commonwealth attorney, in some places as a district attorney, whatever they are, the person that writes up the side for the state, I guess, that's their decision. They're the one that offers that to your lawyer. So if you want to blame anybody for how much time she spent, blame it on that person. It's not her fault. She did her time. She's out now. She's doing her show, which I'm interested in it. I mean, yeah, it's kind of drama, but it's like watching the Kardashians, drama, somebody's life. Like I said, it's an interesting story because she never got to live life, and now she, went to prison and got out, and now she is basically learning everything kind of for the first time, and that's interesting. So I personally don't mind her having a show about it. I think some of y'all are just mad that she's making money from it when you're not. Like, everybody's got to make money in this world. This world sucks, the economy is trash, so you got to do what you got to do. But she, even like the arguing with people or whatever, she's literally acting like a teenager, and you can't blame her for that, because like I said, she's been in prison and she's never got to really experience what it was like being a teenager in the real world. So she's now doing it. I think she'll basically do everything, whatever, and then she'll grow out of it. So I just think people should cut her a little bit more slack. Like, give her a break, It is what it is. You can put your thoughts in the comments. I'm sure that nobody's going to agree with me, and I really don't care. This is my opinion. And that's really all I have to say about it. So